This edition of Dottie Rambo magazine, we're kind of showing you some beautiful parts of Lake Woodbridge right here in Irvine, California. Stay tuned for a fantastic guest today, Mr. Ralph Carmichael, music by my daughter Reba. It's going to be a fantastic program. You don't want to miss it. Later on, down into the program, ladies, get your pencil and paper because we're going to have cooking, and today we're featuring Dottie Rambo's hot biscuits, and they're super. You don't want to miss one part of the show because Ralph Carmichael is going to be talking about some fantastic things about songwriting, the invention and creation of songwriting. For you that are just learning to write songs, you're going to learn a lot from this man. He does the big band sound, the sacred sound, the beautiful, beautiful music of Jesus Christ. Stay tuned, won't you? It's going to be fascinating. And my kid, of course, I'm a little bit prejudiced. She's going to be singing you a marvelous Reba and Donnie McGuire song. I was very excited when I found out I was going to be able to get the next guest on the Dottie Rambo magazine, Mr. Ralph Carmichael, the father of contemporary music. We went on location up into a beautiful orange groves in Corona, California, sat down, as you will see, in a marvelous, beautiful table and chairs and talked like family. He does know how to write a song. If you're learning to write music, stay tuned. And why don't you just go with us, in fact, and see Mr. Ralph Carmichael, the father of contemporary music, president of GMA, and president of Light Lexicon Music Production Publishing Company. What can we say about a man that since 1940 has been putting out great music, from secular to gospel? A lot of neat things you're going to enjoy. Welcome to Dottie Rambo's magazine, Ralph Carmichael. Would you like to have some coffee?
I'd love it, Dottie, and it's a pleasure to be here with you today.
It's my pleasure.
Just right.
We want to talk about some great things, fun things, interesting things. First of all, I'd like to know a little about this Bible college. That was fun when you told me. I didn't know about you going to Bible college.
Oh, yes. Well, my father was a minister, and my mother a Bible teacher. And it was kind of accepted and expected that I would follow in their footsteps. And so when I graduated from high school, I went to Bible college. And in some ways it was a disaster.
That's what we wanted to hear about.
But it was an experience that stood me in good stead through the years, because later in life, as I began to write lyrics, the things that my instructors thought were wasted on me, maybe I had some way to recall them and use them in my lyrics. But the fact of the matter is, I did flunk Greek, and then how I found my way into Hebrew, I don't know, but I managed to do just as well in Hebrew.
A in all of it, huh?
And while I was flunking Greek and Hebrew, though, I was very much involved in music. And somebody called me the other day after they had attended an alumni banquet at California College. It was California Bible College then. Now I think they just call it California College. And reminded me that even though I after the prescribed period of time, 4 years or whatever, I walked across the stage with cap and gown on. The president handed me a blank diploma. I never did graduate, but I did manage to. I joined the faculty on my 3rd year there because they didn't have anybody to teach choir, direct the choir, or direct the orchestra, and so I ended up getting involved that way.
That's great. It's really a thrill, Ralph, for me, and I really mean this, and you know I do, for me to be associated with a man that, you know, that arranged music for big bands and Nat King Cole, Born Free, and movies like Restless Ones, and name after name. And we could never, I would have to write an epistle to sit down here to cover everything you've done, and yet to know that I know that you're a born-again Christian, and you write some of the greatest gospel music arrangements for choirs and choral music, and I do know this, you're the new elect president for GMA, and this year in Nashville, I watched them by a landslide bring you in as president, and I want you to know it's a thrill to me to know that you're born again and you still have that zeal, that joy, and people look up and respect you. It's really quite overwhelming to me. I stand in awe of your talent, I really do.
Well, you know, I facetiously sometimes say that by the time I reached the age of puberty, I had been saved 118 times, and maybe I needed it. But the fact of the matter is, you know, by the time I did reach the age of accountability, my mom had told me the gospel story many, many times, and I gave my life to Christ as a wee lad, and grew up sometimes in church 7 nights a week, you know, and church and Bible study and family altar was a way of life. I often wished that Dad wouldn't pray so long at our noon Bible study, because I was late to school almost every day after lunch, and it was so embarrassing. You know, why are you late? Well, my dad prayed too long. Your dad did what?
That's great.
So, but then when I decided what to do with my life, I did dedicate as a teenager my life to full-time service, not realizing the long way around that the path of life would take me. But when I one day discovered that I could use the music that I had and that I loved, and use it to serve the Lord, it was a great day for me, and it's been a wonderful thing. We've often been criticized for the experiments that we've made, and
well, you're a trendsetter. That's
occasionally
the
misunderstood, and I know that during the time that we were involved in secular music, there was a suspicion that I had, you know, turned my back on God and on the things of the gospel, which was not at all true. But the experiences that I had during those times, I've had a chance so many times to use them, and when the time came for us to begin to write the youth musicals, all of the little nuances and the tricks and the change of pace and the key changes and the pacing, all of those things that I had learned in the secular field, I could use them.
We're right there for
that's
you.
Right.
That's great.
And with Tell It Like It Is, and Natural High, and I'm Here, God's Here, and especially for shepherds and like that.
I want to know about this, Ralph. This is wonderful.
Well...
I love this picture. Isn't that great?
That's an album that we recently released with a little bit of everything on it. It's got some instrumental, and it's got some choral, and it's got some strings and brass and all that kind of thing.
This is brand new, is it right?
Yes, yes, quite new. It's my last release.
What about Show me some of your fun things here.
All right,
I'll tell you
what I'd like to do. This is a book that we published. First of all, you know, a lot of people ask me, you know, what do you do? And I can't bring an orchestra with me, and I don't sing. And if I did, you'd wish that I didn't.
It isn't that bad, I've heard.
And I don't play the violin or trumpet anymore. But so when you ask me what I do, I have to show you some of the publications or maybe some of the albums.
Could you read that one little poem in there that I
Yes, I will. Yeah.
Okay.
I love lyrics. You know, my dad was a bit of a poet, and maybe I caught some of it from him. But not all of my lyrics are grammatically correct. And so before I read this, I want to tell you that there is I've taken a little liberty with the King's English.
I can relate. I do that all the time, right? God doesn't care.
This is an ode to the gospel singer. And do you ever wonder why God would pick one man and give him one assignment to do like no one can? To sway the hearts of people in tones so bold and strong, yet tender like a sonnet, a gentle whispered song. Then bless him with approval, as others he doth bless, while countless hearts are opened, the Savior to confess. It takes one humble servant, whose purpose is but one. Don't magnify my talent, just glorify thy Son.
I love it. Bravo. That's great. That'll bring you to tears. The gift is a marvelous thing, isn't it?
That's what we should, that should be all of our goals, I think, and give him the glory.
That's it. Paul said that, too, talking about glorying in the cross, of a song the Lord gave me a few years back, and then I had another song called I Will Not Overshadow, but I'll stand in the shadow and give him the praise.
I love it.
You know, it's very easy for the flesh to take that proud feeling of, look what I've done. This is marvelous.
Well, you know, to be good at what you're doing does take perseverance, and perseverance takes ego.
Sure.
And it's a fine balance, you know. If you were egoless, you wouldn't care, and so you wouldn't try, and you wouldn't work, and you wouldn't persevere.
Very true.
But you have to have that, and I'm not telling young people that they need to, their egos need to be destroyed, but they do need to be committed to
And they need to
Christ.
believe in themselves, Ralph, you know,
right.
and not put themselves down, because if you believe in yourself, then I think that the gift works better if you like yourself.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Yeah.
Can we talk about this gorgeous book just a minute?
Yes.
I want you to see something beautiful. And that says kind of what we're talking about, the new church hymnal.
Well,
Do you have new sounds in this book, Ralph?
I'll
What
tell you,
saying?
there something I began to notice about 10 or 15 years ago. What people listen to and enjoy, they eventually want to sing. And if a new song is introduced, and new songs need to be introduced all the time, then soloists sing them, and then choirs pick them up and sing them, youth choirs, adult choirs. Then eventually, congregations, people want to sing them. And so what we have done, we have taken perhaps 200 of the songs that have come out of this last decade of new gospel music that people are singing, and we've included them in the new church hymnal.
Oh, I love it.
And along with perhaps 400 gospel songs and hymns that are more traditional. So it's the best of the new and the best of the old.
He's everything to me. Is that in the hymn?
It just happens to be.
All right. I'll let you autograph that to me.
Okay.
Ralph Carmichael, I love you very much, and it's such a pleasure to have you on the magazine show today. And I'm sure your friends on the West Coast and all over the world is going to be really excited to see you. And you look marvelous. You lost all that weight. And
well, thank you, Dottie.
tell your pretty little wife that we would like to have her to come on with us someday. And maybe we'll come out to your farm and see
you come
your
out to the ranch.
horses.
That's
and
good.
Can we ride all day? Maybe have a picnic or something?
If you want. As a matter of fact, instead of your Doberman Pinscher, I have a miniature horse that's even smaller than the Doberman.
Does he bite?
No, and he doesn't bark either.
Okay. That's great. Well, say hello to your pretty little
Yes,
white horse. Reba sends her love. She and Donnie, our children, love you very much.
Well,
and Buck
I
thinks you're
am
something.
proud of them. You know that.
We're
They are
proud of you
something.
because we know you love the Lord and you write the kind of music that church people want to hear. And you do it so very well with such class. From the big band sounds to the wonderful contemporary sounds to the choral music to the sacred Sunday morning go to church music. This man has that gift of just making them work in anywhere he wants to put them because of the gift. And I thank God for Mr. Ralph Carmichael, our GMA president, and Light Records, in which the Rambos are recording for right now.
I have to
and
just
as we
do
start
this.
to leave our pretty little setting today, we just have to show you what
Yes,
we think
just-
is the last, most important one. Dottie and Buck Rambo singing Son of Thunder, Daughter of Light.
And you know, it still has the shine on
And
it.
it's on light. Yeah, we still have that one wrapped up. God bless you, Mr. Ralph Carmichael, and I love
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
we'll share a kiss. Come back and see me, okay? Is that a
We'll do
promise?
it. I promise.
Okay. God bless you.
Never understand why he saw a piece of clay and said, I want it. I'll use it. The greatest mystery is that somehow, in spite of me, he said, I'm gonna love you. He took me in his arms, said this child belongs to me. He placed me in his kingdom. Now I live like royalty. It's not because of what I am, not because of what I've done. It's because of who I am. I'll never understand while I was yet a slave. He said he'd buy me. He'd save me. He clothed himself in flesh, became the final sacrifice, so I could know redemption. He took the stripes upon his back so that I can walk in health. Then he broke the chains of death. Now I can live forevermore. Not because of what I am, not because of what I've done. It's because
a lot of the little Southern belles, this is not a problem. It isn't difficult to make Dottie Sunday biscuits. But for a lot of maybe California girls or girls that live in New York City or wherever that have never done Southern cooking, this might be a little tough for you. But I think you're going to enjoy it. You'll catch on. It's called Dottie Sunday biscuits. And here's the ingredients right away. I'll give it to you. 2½ cups of self-rising flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a 1/2 cup bacon drippings, or if you want pure white biscuits, use a 1/2 cup of shortening melted, kind of cool down a little bit. 1 package of dry yeast, a 1/2 teaspoon of soda, and that is optional, so whatever you like. I don't think you really need it, but use it if you'd like. 1 cup of buttermilk, 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to show you how it's done. First, I kind of like to start with the dry ingredients, and we have 1 package of dry yeast, okay? These are great biscuits. Your husband will love you for this. And this is our sugar. This is what gives them that little punch they need, that they're not so blah. The sugar kind of wakes them up. And I always add a little salt to everything. Probably that's bad, but I do. Okay. Now we're going to add our buttermilk. We'll make sure your dry ingredients are in first. And that's 1 cup of buttermilk. I put about a teaspoon of salt. That's in your recipe. 1 package of dry yeast. 2 tablespoons of sugar and a 1/2 cup of bacon drippings or melted Crisco. Either way, shortening. Okay, when we get down to this, it's sort of yucky. It almost looks like pie crust, but not today. Now, we're going to use our melted, cooled down Crisco. And I sort of work him in slow so you won't get a pie crust effect. Sometimes, it's according to how the humidity is outside, sometimes you have to add just a tad more buttermilk than what they call for. This is going to work out perfect today. Sometimes in the South, when we're making biscuits or yeast rolls, the humidity can sure put a damper on us, and they don't always rise the way they should. But in the West Coast and places where the humidity is not so bad, they usually work well. So this looks pretty good. Keep working it around. Don't overwork your dough now. You just want to get it blend where you can get it out of this bowl. Okay. We got everything going here, and that really looks ugly to you, but ignore that. I'll show you how we really do it. I've got to tell you about my little thing here in a minute. That's great. This is where most women ruin their biscuits, right here. You have to get your hands into it, but don't ever overdo the dough. And don't expect this dough to feel as smooth as when you're making yeast rolls. I very seldom use a rolling pin, but I'm trying to be very fancy today. I've got one laying out here. Most of the time I just flatten them out with my hand. Buck likes these on Sunday morning before we get ready to go to church. They are pretty fattening. If you want to use your rolling pin, we do this little number. Just roll her out good. Don't lose my little magic hand here. And if you like them pretty thick, which I do, I'd leave it about like this. Start like this. That's a pet milk can that I've taken a little label off of. Cut 2 little holes in the top, and it gives you an air suction so your biscuits won't flatten down. And I just take these little young'uns and I just do them like this. Just line them up. I might go a little neater than this. And I don't know if I've guessed at the right amount of dough or not on all this. If we don't, you may have some left over. We'll leave it be just like that because I mainly want to show you how to make them. Now, take your melted shortening and you just barely do a little number across the top like this. Just kind of, so you don't have to be careful with them. You can't hurt them. We got the oven set at 450. And you sort of watch them 10 to 15 minutes, and they will coming out looking like a dream. You like the flour on my hand and all, don't you? On the top shelf, at middle shelf, at 450. And now, through the magic of television, you're going to love it. Da-da-da-da-da. Pretty, huh? Get it out, they don't burn my hands. See, that wasn't very hard. What I do about, after 12 minutes in the oven, I usually turn on the broiler and put them in the top shelf and let them get a little brown and put put them back down in the middle, Chef, and finish off. Okay, this is tempting. This is real Southern biscuits. Reba, are you over there working on some things for
I'm
me?
over here,
Cooking
making
and
some
keeping
soup.
it? You want a sample?
That
This
looks
looks
great.
good, huh? That's hot. Don't touch it. That's for real hot.
That looks fabulous.
How-
Look at that steaming biscuit.
How's that?
yummy.
How's that? God's in this, isn't he?
No, all we need some
God
honey.
says, let there be light in biscuits. Almost.
Oh, that
Are you
looks
ready?
Great. I'm ready. I know my part.
Open wide.
How wide?
Sunday biscuit.
That's fabulous.
Is God in that?
I know, he is definitely in those biscuits.
Buddy. Mm-hmm.
These are great, Mom.
Yeah. We'll write home about these.
All we need is
really
peanut butter
simple.
and syrup.
Mm-hmm. Just pass them around the camera crew.
Okay.
Don't forget them. Dottie Rambo Sunday biscuit for your little honey. Or honey on it, as far as that goes.
It's finally here, the cookbook you've been waiting for. Dottie Rambo's cookbook with recipes from some of your favorite entertainers. Throughout the years, people like Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jeannie C. Riley, and many, many more have given Dottie the recipes of their favorite dishes. And she has compiled them all into this one dynamite cookbook. You've seen Dottie bake dishes like Swedish tea rolls, Texas cornbread, hot German potato salad, pecan pie, and of course her own delicious Dottie's biscuits on her television program. Now you too can have these recipes for your very own. You won't want to miss this offer. In order to get your own personal copy for any size love gift or donation, write to Dottie Rambo's Magazine, P.O. Box A, Santa Ana, California, 92711. That's Dottie Rambo's Magazine, P.O. Box A, Santa Ana, California, 92711. Don't delay. Send for your cookbook today.
We hope you've enjoyed the beautiful sight here at Woodbridge Lake in Irvine, California. We've had a great day. Wasn't Ralph Carmichael incredible? I knew you would enjoy him. It was a thrill. And I know you enjoyed the music of our daughter, Reba. And ladies, I hope you got the recipe of Dottie Rambo's biscuits. And if you didn't, we have a book, a cookbook, that we'll make available to you, and the address is at the bottom of your screen. It's P.O. Box A, Santa Ana, California. You're going to enjoy the recipes. A lot of fascinating recipes in there for good old Sunday and Southern cooking. Come back and see us on Dottie Rambo Magazine again. We're going to have some great guests. You're going to love it.